Welcome back to the City of Palms podcast, episode 35. We're here with Kevin Rios. How's it going, man?
It's going, yeah. It's going good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's cool.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm excited you came on. This is long awaited. I know this guy's mad excited. He's been talking to me about it all week.
Because I'm hyped on all the dudes that are on that new project.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I reached out to him, and I said this to every single one of them, I'm surprised he said yes. Like, you know, you can make beats and you think, like, whatever, I'm making these in my room or whatever, but when you send them to people, like, I don't know, and they agree to it, it was just kind of insane for me that they even said yes in the first place.
So, but when we were off the air, you said that you're from around here, but you were born and raised in this area?
I was born in Minnesota, but I've been all my years of school down here. I say where you're from is where you went to high school. So I went to Heights, I went to Cypress, I went to Edison when it was still Edison. I'm showing my age there. But yeah, I'm a Fort Myers guy through and through.
Nice. And then, so were you, did music start for you at an early age, like in grade school and stuff, or was it a later talent that you picked up?
Probably like middle school. I had to go into band because AV was full. I played the trumpet. If that's not a huge turn on to women, I don't know what is. But that at least taught me like music theory, how to read music, how to understand it. I've played piano for like 5 years or so. I took guitar lessons as a kid, so music's always kind of been around. It's only until 3 years ago that I started taking it like really serious.
Wow.
And what did you get into first in the music aspect, as far as taking serious?
Production. I knew I wanted to make rap beats, even in like middle school. Like I knew I wanted to do it. Like every Mac comes with GarageBand, right? Mm-hmm. So I'd make just like trash stuff on GarageBand. You guys might be too young. There was a game for PlayStation called MTV Music Generator, and like you can make beats on there. So I was messing around with that, and like, so I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. But like I said, only taking it seriously recently.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And so you make your own music now too?
All of it. Everything's original. I mean, I sample. It's like Kanye or anybody,
Yeah.
but no, and I'll do original stuff too. My buddy Darren kind of gets on me for the samples because samples are a bitch to clear. Like,
Yeah,
you have to,
yeah.
say you took a Stevie Wonder sample, you got to somehow get a hold of Stevie Wonder's people and say,
Yeah.
I'm going to use your sample. They want X amount of money for it. I don't think any of them are watching now, but like, I use a lot of samples on this beat tape coding for sure.
I feel you.
And I cleared them all. I didn't.
You're clear, dude. We're in the green. So how did you I think that's interesting that even at middle school you knew you were going to produce hip hop beats, because usually you think of people wanting to be rappers or whatever.
I remember, I mean, I was into like punk and ska, like, but then I remember hearing Beastie Boys on the bus to Cypress Lake Middle and being like, what's this? And it was a rap after that. I mean, it was just hip hop to the death of me. I'll still listen to rock and stuff like that, but it's just hip hop
Yeah.
through and through.
Yeah, I always say Beastie Boys is actually what got me hooked to hip hop too.
It's like, what's the one?
License to Ill.
License to Ill, that was earlier. What's the one? God, I'm saying I'm this huge fucking Beastie Boys fan. The one with Intergalactic Planetary on it.
What is the name of that one? I don't know.
Because Paul's Boutique was the one that had Eggman. Gosh, it's like their main one. Whatever. I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan. I just can't think of their name.
Listener, you can look it up. It's great.
Yeah, no, definitely check it out if you haven't.
For sure. So then, so who were some of your inspirations at that time? Besides, other than Beastie Boys and whatnot, when it came to like music production, did you have anyone you were looking at as inspiration?
Absolutely. Ninth Wonder and Little Brother. That's a group that Ninth Wonder was in. That alone got me into wanting to make beats. Just hearing the album, The Listening, from Little Brother. I listened to that on a drive to Tennessee with my mother. I had the headphones on. That's when you could get the CD. You listen. You look at all the lyrics and stuff like that. I mean, I listened to that thing 3 times over, and I was just like, I want to do this because of that. But then that got me into like Jay Dilla, Roots, a ton of people.
So then what did you go to college for at Edison? Was that music related?
I wish. I went, and then I always say this. It's really hard to ask a kid at 17, 18, what do you want to do for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
My friend Kyle Woolwine was going for engineering, so I said, I'll go for engineering too. I was trash at math. I'm still trash at math. That's like the number one thing you need to be good at, you know what I mean? So I went for engineering, but I only went there for like a year or two, and I was paying for it myself. So then it just got to a point like, I gotta work.
Yeah.
I can't be doing this, and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna be some fucking engineer. So it's always, I want to go back, but still on my list to go back.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Trust me. So then, what's your day job now?
My day job now is nothing. I actually worked a place. It's a resort on Sanibel. I was a bartender. I actually made it all the way up to banquet captain. It was a pretty lucrative job, but I just got to the point. You guys watch Gary Vee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm valuing happiness over the almighty dollar at this point. Like,
Yeah.
it was making me a good amount of money. I was doing well by whatever standards doing well is, but I wasn't happy. And I wanted to be happy. All these people I see say like, oh, I love my job. They do this for me. My job gives me all this shit. And it's like, why not me? Why can't I go get that? You know what I mean? So at this point, music's my job, but that's not netting me much money right now. But I can take it more seriously now, but I'm definitely actively searching.
Man, that's cool though. Yeah, because I definitely feel you. I've had jobs, restaurant jobs, out on Sanibel too, where I've made great money, and it's just, but it's soul sucking, man.
Absolutely. I
get into-
barely drink. I hate drunk people at this point now. Like, and I can pour drinks anywhere, you know what I mean? But I'm not necessarily trying to.
Yeah.
It's a skill I can always be a bartender. But I don't know if I'm necessarily wanting to bartend anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who is it? Casey Neistat. I always like how he said, I forget what interview, but he said he used to be like a dishwasher at some sort of like seafood place, and he said there's nothing that will fuel your passion more than doing a job you freaking
absolutely.
hate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'd be there at least towards the end too, because I actually gave him my 2 weeks so I would end in October, and then they promoted me. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do this. And then I did it for like 4 days, and I was like, I made a mistake. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life anymore. And like, I don't know, I kind of had to be a person I'm not. I was overseeing like all the weddings and events and stuff like that, and it really didn't fit the person I am when I leave work. You know, I could fake it to make it when I'm there, but I was not a fucking banquet captain at all.
True.
Yeah. So, I really dig your Instagram, like all the videos
Appreciate
you
it.
make of you. Like, I just like, you can like see how fun it is for you
For sure.
as you're like making the beats and like you. Did you learn how to use that pretty quickly? That the equipment that you use nowadays.
Yes and no. You can go to YouTube University for anything.
Yeah.
But trust me, when I took it out of the box, I couldn't even make it make a fucking sound. You know what I mean? It takes time to grind. But you mentioned the Instagram. The reason I show myself and stuff like that, a lot of music producers will just put something up to a computer and be like, listen to the beat, play, and then just kind of move their thing. Like, it's Instagram. You got to be seeing something. So I want people to see what I'm doing, how I made it, what's going on with it. So that's, Instagram's visual. You know, you can hear something, but people want to fucking see something.
Yeah.
But with Machine, going back to Machine, that's actually what Ninth Wonder used. That's what got me into making music. So I knew, like, I was going to get Machine, and I was going to start making beats like Ninth Wonder, and I was going to be this guy, and that's still what I'm trying to do, honestly.
So was that, when you said you got serious with it 3 years ago, was that point? Or was that before?
I thought I wanted to just play piano, and you can actually get, they're called workstations, and do everything. That's what Scotch Storch used to make shit on, just like a Roland Phantom, and back in the day, like, that was it, like the Roland Phantom. So I got something similar, but then I was just like, dude, you want to use Machine. Just get Machine and just fucking learn it. And it wasn't cheap, you know, everything in music. It's a very expensive hobby if you get into it.
Definitely.
But no, I got it, and it was a wrap since then. That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
What is Machine for anyone listening?
Machine is, like, if you look at my Instagram, it's just like a box. I don't know if you're familiar with an MPC. That's like what people used to make it stuff on. And it's like a more modern version of that. People still use MPCs because it has a more vintage sound, but you can do anything with Machine. Like, you can do anything with anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just whatever makes you feel creative. Like, if doing this makes you feel creative, do that. You know, if doing it on the piano makes you feel creative, do that. There's no right. Back then, I used to think, like, man, how do I make hip-hop music? there's no right or wrong way to make it.
Yeah.
Just fucking make it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Like, have you read the Beastie Boys
I
autobiography?
leafed through it. Yeah, I was in Barnes and Noble, and I was like
Yeah.
leafing through it probably longer.
Because
than
I
should've.
listened to the audio. I don't remember what it's called, so for anyone listening, I don't remember what the name of the book is. But I listened to the audiobook,
Uh-huh.
and that one's really cool because each of them voice the audiobook.
Okay.
And then they have a lot of, like, the parts that aren't their narration. They get lots of, like, celebrities. There's lots of comedians.
Yeah, I
and
remember them
some
saying
hip hop
that. Yeah,
guys
that's
and
dope.
stuff. And so the audiobook's entertaining, but I love hearing their musical process and what went into some of the samples that they use and
Oh,
the
yeah.
sounds that they make. Craziest stuff that they used to, like, make certain sounds in the
Absolutely.
album. And now when I listen to License to Ill, I, like, hear the things they reference, and I'm like, oh, he just used, like, you know, this, like, household object and, like, made that sound.
And that's exactly it. You know, use what you have. I heard a story. Dr. Dre was just doing a skit where he was going to be putting a shovel in dirt. And they're like, let's get a shovel and dirt sound. And he said, fuck that. He poured dirt all over the studio, gave everyone a shovel, and said, record yourself scooping that fucking dirt up. And
What?
that's what it's going to be. Like, it's just whatever you want to use, man. There's
Yeah.
no wrong way to do it.
I always trip out about the whole production side of things because as, like, typical listeners, you look at, like, the faces of the labels or whatever. You
Yeah.
look at, like, the rappers and stuff like that. But sometimes, unless you're, you know, sometimes you don't think of music producers as
Absolutely.
like the stars or whatever.
sure.
But there, you know, there's tons of people who are, like, geniuses. You know what I mean? And are there people? I just want to know from your perspective, like, people you look towards, like Dr. Dre, who are, like, legends in the game, people that you see as, like, absolute geniuses with music production.
Definitely Ninth Wonder. Mike Dean is an engineer producer, and he's done every single Kanye West album. He does every single Travis Scott thing. There's definitely always some dorky dude in the background who's mixing and tweaking all the stuff.
Yeah.
Boy Wanda, he's legit with that. Like Jay Dilla, but no one in particular. I try to take pieces of everything and
Yeah,
just kind
of
of
course.
bring it all together.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Was this your first this project that's coming up? We'll talk, like, in depth about it later.
Sure,
but
sure.
Is this the first major collaborative project
Absolutely.
you've done with people?
Absolutely. This is the first anything I've done, and it
Really?
turned into this big fucking thing. Like, I'm so new to this. Like, I would go to these events, and I knew I wanted to be in this hip hop community around here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to these events by myself. There's no dorkier dude who's in a place by himself trying to make friends and introduce himself. Like, that was tough, you know. I'd have to pound a couple beers and, like, start to talk to people, but then you get to know people, and I got to know these guys, and then I send them the beats, and they're like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I do have a buddy, Christian. We were talking about Angela earlier. Christian DeLay. I mean, we probably don't have enough time to go how important he is to my music career, but we met a long time ago. It's actually me and him that's on the album cover in 2nd grade.
Oh, really?
Like, we are, like, you can take a look at it later, but that's, like, that's crazy how that happened there. He was always the kind of person who we'd be like, you see somebody at a party, you're buddies, you're not like besties, but you talk, you know what I mean? So our paths went like this, but then he saw me making these trash beats on Facebook. My aunt from Minnesota would like it, and maybe my girlfriend, and then he just sent me a message like, if you want to start doing real music, come over. And it's been a wrap ever since. Like, after I went to his place and saw how it's really done, it just blew my mind.
How long ago was that?
Probably 2 years ago.
Wow. Man.
And he went to school for that. He was actually one of the head engineers at Six Finger Studio where Angela used to work. I mean, we'd go to that studio until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, have guys come through. Latney, shout out Latney, Cannon, Darren. Darren's been super helpful in my career too. Yeah, and we just do that, and like, you never stop learning. There's always, like, making beats and mixing beats are two totally different worlds. It's apples and oranges. Like, I'm a beat maker. When it comes to mixing beats, it's like, it's a whole different world. It's totally different verbiage. It's totally different everything. Like,
Can you explain that a little bit? Because I'm someone who I understand the process of, like, recording, like, the beats, mixing and mastering and stuff like that, but I don't really know exactly, like, what that means as far as, like, in the studio.
I almost don't even know as well too, but from what my terrible lack of knowledge is, like, I can give Christian a beat and it'll just be rough. And in his words, not mine, he'll polish the diamond. Like, they put all these limiters on it and compressors. They can see where a bass frequency needs to be and alter it accordingly. They can see where the highs need to be and alter it accordingly. The voice needs to, like, all sounds have a home. They need to sit in a certain spot. And like I said, it's just a whole different ballgame. Like, it's nuts.
Man, so then what's your typical process when you are making beats, other than just, like, messing around and, like, when stuff starts? Do you have, like, a kind of, like, calculated process?
Kind of. I have a bunch of samples on YouTube that I've just collected over the years. I usually start with a sample, but then the game's deep, man. You can buy these, like, sample packs where you pay for someone who already kind of made some samples for you, and then you just add drums and lather, rinse, repeat. My process is just pick something that I think sounds good at the beginning, and then just start fucking with it. You know, add drums. I always usually add drums, like, last. I like to get the sample out first. And some people do it the complete opposite. Some people do drums first and put the sample in later. It's like I was saying, there's no right and wrong way to do it. It's just whatever way makes you comfortable.
And so with that machine, is the way, I've never, like, seen anything, I've never like used anything like that, is the way it works, because I see you, like, hitting buttons and stuff like that, and is the way it works is, like, you program certain
you
sounds
put all
in
the
it?
stuff into that. You'll put the drum sounds into it, kick, snare, clap, crash. I'll have the samples on a different pad, so then I'll have my beats on one, the samples on one, usually bass on another. This is a trick Christian taught me. I always like to throw an acapella from YouTube on it, because a lot of times people can't hear what you're hearing. So then I'll just put BPM is just the beats per minute, how fast or slow a beat is, and then I'll just type 90 BPM, and then a fucking whole list of people come up. Notorious B.I.G. usually sounds good on everything, so I use him a lot.
Nice.
And then I go from there.
Man, that's so interesting.
So for your computer, like, are you still using GarageBand on your computer?
No, Machine comes with its own software, but in Christian's words, not mine, Machine is good for what it is, but it's middle school compared to, like, a Pro Tools or FL Studio, which would be considered like college, like, or Harvard. Like, Pro Tools is, like, up here. I'd say 80% of the people use FL Studio, then Logic, then Pro Tools, and then Machine just. There's a very small niche group of people that use Machine.
And that's in the industry. 80% of, like,
absolutely, absolutely. You'll see all these guys on Instagram, and it's all FL Studio. Any tips, if you type production tips, it's always FL Studio. Sometimes Pro Tools, sometimes Logic, because Logic is just for Mac. You can only use it on Mac, and a lot of people have Mac, but I need to start getting into more stuff, because if I need to mix, Machine's trash for mixing. I give Christian all my stuff, and he mixes it in FL Studio and Pro Tools. You know what I mean?
So do you know what Fruity Loops is?
That's what FL Studio is. It started out as Fruity Loops, and then it evolved to FL Studio.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either. Wow.
Man, we could jump away from music, but let's take a break first, okay?
Right on.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Enjoy the ads in the meantime. We'll be right back with Kevin Rios. We might jump away from music a little bit. Stay tuned. Hey, everyone. So Kevin mentioned the name Darren earlier in the episode, and he wanted to take a second and just officially shout out Darren Godin for being a huge influence on his Heights project. He says that Darren was super helpful in music production, in his learning music production, and in the legal side of things producing this project. So he wanted to officially shout out Darren Godin. I'm sitting here with Heather Graves and Corey Graves of Into the Graves Productions, and on November 9th they have a big event coming up, Punksgiving, and I just wanted you all to hear from them what they've got going on. What's happening?
So November 9th at Rackham's, we are going to have Punksgiving, and it's going to be a punk show and a food drive, and we're going to have the Monsters from Outer Space, Kindly Shut Up, Offset Era, Butch Queen and the Bad Habits, Diphalia, and Warm Like Winter.
Woo.
And the
Camaros.
And the Camaros. They
Hell
just
yeah.
got added on.
And then it's a raffle type deal where, how's that work?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a food drive. So if people bring 3 cans, they get a raffle ticket, and then they can win a prize. And then the food is gonna get donated to Cape Vineyard, which is like right next to Rackham's. They feed the homeless. So we wanted to donate to someone that actually, did something really good.
November 9th, be there or be square. 8
Yeah.
p.m. is when it starts, and it's going to
Yeah.
go all night, and it's going to be a grand old time.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
there, they'll be there.
Two stages and a food truck too.
Yep. 2 stages, food truck, booze.
Hell yeah. Is the food truck picked out yet?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the Hunger Station. I haven't had it yet, but I think it'll be pretty good.
Oh yeah. It's food.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of booze.
Yeah.
And a bunch of crazy
Yeah,
shenanigans all
two
night.
full liquor bars.
And some great bands.
Yeah.
And for a good cause.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be like all punk music, so I'm really excited about having people come from out of town too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because one of the bands is coming all the way from South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The
Monsters
Monsters
from
from
Outer
Outer Space.
Wow.
Yeah, and like Warm Like Winters coming from Orlando, and Butch Queen and the Bad Habits, they're from Orlando?
I don't think so. I think they're from Tampa. They might be from Orlando. I don't know.
Yeah, they're coming in though.
They're from out of town. They're driving in.
Gathering in Cape Coral. And November 9th is my birthday, so if you want to come say hi to me and see my smiling face, be
Buy him
there.
drinks.
Yeah.
Come get him drinks.
Get this guy a drink.
Oh, you want this guy really drunk by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, so Punksgiving 2019. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Not really. Just come. It's a free show.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Come
no
have fun.
excuse to not come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, see you all there. The City of Palms podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show onto all the apps people use? How do I make money from the podcast? And the answer to all this is really simple, Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Me and Danny searched all over the internet for different outlets for distributing and recording and for websites that would host our podcast, and a lot of them you have to pay money or it's really complicated, and especially for someone just starting out. And Anchor really was an answer to all that because you can record straight on Anchor. It's very user friendly and it's totally free. We don't have to pay a penny to use this, and so it's great for anyone who's wanting to start out. And so if you're wanting to start your own podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. We are back. I hope you enjoyed those ads. Aside from music, you said you were a skateboarder too?
I wouldn't call myself a skateboarder, but I was definitely into skateboarding. At least from like elementary to high school. Probably when I started having sex with girls is when I stopped skateboarding. But I love it. Like I told you before, I watch more skate videos than I do music videos. It gets me so like fucking hyped. Like I've drained my phone some nights, just literally just like watching like Thrasher videos like all night long. I don't know why. It just gets me so fucking hyped. It's so hard to do. It's so impressive. Like,
Yeah.
It's like art. It's like it's
Exactly.
crazy. It's like what these people can do on a board is like fucking magic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you pretty you like kind of keep up to date with all things skateboarding?
Absolutely.
What are some of your favorite skate videos of all time? I'm curious.
What's the one, the Birdhouse video where they blow up the shit in the back, and it was like this big. It was Spike Jonze who did it. That's a big one for me. The Zero video, that was kind of crazy. I don't know the names of them like off bat. Gosh, what are the other?
I think you're talking about Fully Flared.
It could be.
Cause Spike Jonze did that, and they had the whole intro where it was all slow motion, and then things blowing up in the
yes,
background.
because I saw something about how they made that on Vice, and it was like fucking
Yes.
crazy. Like they said it was way bigger than they told the skaters it was gonna be, and then they're like, dude, that was like fucking. Sketchy.
Like the one clip where Mike Capaldi does a switch flip down like a 13 stair or something, and it blows up behind him. They had one take, you
Yeah,
know, like once he
that's
landed
it. They
they had to
nailed it.
click the thing, and I guess they clicked it a little sooner than it was way bigger than they thought, so it like he could like feel
Yeah.
it burn in the back
Because
of
you
his
can even
head.
see in the video, he's like,
Yeah, that was
Crazy.
the girl video. That was awesome, dude. That's one of my favorites.
is that Eric Costin? That's his.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not a Lakai video?
Oh yeah, it was Lakai. I think it was just a Lakai video. You're right. It was just Lakai. Sorry, listener.
And then like Viceland has this show, Epically Latered.
Yeah,
And I've
those
seen
are genius.
Every Epically Latered. Like Chad
Yeah.
Muska was my guy. Back in the day, it was all Muska.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me nothing.
Mhm.
Fucking Chad Muska, that was my guy.
Hell yeah. Have you seen Pretty Sweet? Because that's another like revolutionary video. Because it's I think no, that one I don't know if Spike Jonze was involved, but it was a similar production to Fully Flared. So they had a lot of like special effects type stuff.
I mean,
They
it's
had a lot.
dope. Like what they do is
Yeah,
just cool.
and nowadays people were getting cameos with like celebrities. Like Jack Black was in a little skit in Pretty Sweet, and also the Birdhouse video that just came out. I think it's called Saturdays or something. Is that what the one it was called?
I think so. Yeah.
And each pro had each intro to the pros parts. They had a cameo with a celebrity. So like Eric Andre was in it,
Oh,
and
okay. He's funny.
Joe Dirt was the intro for someone else, and like they had all these celebrities,
That's
and it was
awesome.
really cool that like Tony Hawk has those connections to
That's
like
awesome.
make the video that
Yeah,
way. You know what I
fucking
mean?
I love all that shit.
Yeah, and Thrasher too. Like any Thrasher
Oh,
video.
yeah, for
Just
sure.
today I watched the Halloween Hellbomb where they just do a downhill contest where they put like it's just carnage, dude. They just put like kicker ramps and then going over cars.
Was
They
that
put-
this year? Did you watch this year's?
Yeah, with the dude
Man.
dressed as Keenan Durn,
Keenan
dressed as a
Durn.
Joker.
He got famous off that, bro.
I
So
know.
famous off that.
I think he's from Orlando too.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The what is it? The Durns.
hmm
The Durns.
Yeah, Dalton
And
Keenan
Alyssa
Durn.
Steamer was from here. Fort
Yeah.
Minor.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like he glowed. I'm talking. He glowed up off that, dressing as a Joker and slamming like that.
Yeah.
When I followed Kanan, he had like 3,000 on Instagram. Now he's got like 20-something K. And he
Oh,
does that, and
really?
like,
I didn't know
that's-
that.
This all
Good for
happened
him.
from that
Yeah.
Halloween hill bomb. That
Yeah, I
just
saw some stuff
happened.
went viral. I saw
It was crazy.
because that was a
Yeah.
good costume. He looked like the Joker
Hell yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, and he took a gnarly slam, but I think he won though too. That's why.
The 180 over the car long
Yeah,
ways. Yeah,
yeah.
he won.
And it takes a lot of guts, like to look at, like you said, a 13 stair and just fucking like bomb that. Like that's crazy,
Dude,
bro.
Yeah.
Just even looking at that and without a skateboard, just say run and jump down that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
let
Like-
alone like doing a flip trick down it, where
It
like
takes-
just ollieing down
Yeah.
something is one thing, but like having the coordination to like
It takes
flip
a
it,
lot.
catch it, and land it. Yeah. I don't. I haven't told like the public or anything yet, but I actually tore my ACL the other day, and
Just recently?
yeah. So
You don't have anything on.
yeah, so it felt really good, but I hurt my knee 2 years ago and tore quite a few ligaments in my knee, and I've healed since then. And then I fell the other day off of a roof and whatever, and
Skating.
skating. Yeah, I was jumping off the roof, but videos are on
Sounds
Facebook.
like something that would happen in San Carlos Park.
Yeah, I was actually at Edison FSW.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a roof gap where you can drop in the roof and then it goes flat and then goes like 8 feet down. And I tried to drop in and then go flat and ollie over the fence and whatever. And I just went way too fast and just like got pitched and then landed on my legs weird.
I
And
hope no one's from Edison's watching right now.
oh yeah, we signed paperwork.
There's someone in Orlando.
But
We got it cleared.
But yeah, I just met with the doctor the other day, and he told me because I'm feeling so good. Like my range of motion is pretty much back, and like I was thinking like, okay, maybe I just shook up my knee a little bit, but I just got the MRI, and dude said that.
Do you need to get
totally,
like surgery?
Yeah, yeah, it's totally torn. So I was thinking like a couple months of physical therapy, and I was gonna start skating, but now it's
That's
probably
like
gonna be like
6 months. A
yeah,
year.
yeah, it's gonna be like 6 months to a year. Yeah,
You're on the mend. You're on the disabled
yeah,
list
and
now.
yeah, I've had people saying like just Kyle the other day. He was like, oh, well, no, dude, you'll come back and you'll be like the best tech skater ever. And I'm like, no, I'm going to land that roof gap. And
Were
yeah,
you
was
filming
crazy.
when you did that?
yeah, we've got like 4 angles of it. I'll
So
show you
then
after
You
the.
need to do that, like when you get better, and then like fucking nail it.
Yeah, and yeah. There's a handful of stuff that I know I'm still gonna do. I don't count me out yet, y'all.
Yeah.
But that's skateboarding, you know what I mean? Like
Minor
yeah.
setback, major comeback.
exactly right. Yeah, in 1 year I'll be freaking back, dude.
Yeah, that's true. So do you watch the Nine Club or anything? Do you listen? Do you know what the Nine Club is?
No, I don't know.
Oh, it's like
You'd love it.
their like bio for their show is the show that has skateboarders talking, and it's it's like Chris Roberts, Kelly Hart, and Roger Bagley, who is like a famous filmer for skating. They all do like this podcast YouTube thing, and they get all these skaters on and talk about it. And they have like another thing called Nine Club Experience. It's badass
That's
for
dope.
skating. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dope.
Definitely check that
It's
out.
all just basically famous skateboarders like shooting the shit and like
Yeah.
talking.
I really only listen to talk radio anyway, so
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice to watch while you're in the car. Like
Right
listen
on.
to it while you're in the car.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I listen to it at work all the time too. And then King of the Road. You said you were
King
on
of the
Vice
Road,
Land.
I've definitely
Yes.
seen every King of the Road,
Hell yeah.
and then even the ones that weren't on Vice, I went back and I like found them on YouTube and I watched it.
Yeah.
It was even more gnarly like back then.
Oh, I
You
bet,
remember the
yeah.
one we had on DVD, where Zero won it?
Mhm.
That was gnarly.
That was a crazy one, yeah.
I didn't love the last one, but the two before that were really good.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard that I heard that Viceland's not doing it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, and
I'm sure
I think
it's a huge like fucking like insurance thing.
For
yeah,
sure, yeah.
I heard rumors that Thrasher's trying to do it like on their own or something like that, which I'm sure they won't stop it. They
I'll
was
seek
so
it out
popular.
wherever it goes.
Yeah,
I'll
they'll
definitely
find a
it.
network for it, but I guess Viceland's not doing it anymore.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, man.
No, I'll find it wherever it goes. I'll definitely get
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah, but into more recent stuff, dude. Actually, yeah, I'll talk about this before we get into the ghost stories. But you told us off the air, but you can just like explain the current project that you have going on that you have releasing at Rock for Equality on the 8th. How did that start? That project?
That started because these beats are all like my first beats,
Oh, really?
and I was like, well, I don't just want them to exist on a hard drive that never sees the light of day. So I got like maybe 14 beats that I thought were serviceable. I never think my stuff's good ever, even the stuff that's good. I'm like, this is trash. And I started shopping them. I kind of knew Ronan a little bit, and I'd be like, you want this? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want that. And I just asked all these guys, and majority of them said yes. And it just started from there, just because I didn't want my beats to go unheard. I didn't really want to make a beat tape. And I just wanted rappers on my shit. I mean, that was the end result. Like, I always wanted to have rappers on my stuff.
Hell yeah.
So then, so this is the first collaborative project you've done. Is that a big goal of yours? Is from now on, like, because there's a lot of dudes around here that I'm already rolling around in my head that I'm like, dude, because the people you named who are on it, this project, are heavy hitters, and there's like, dozens more around here that I'm just thinking of the future projects gets me excited. Is there anyone that you have in mind? You don't have
anyone
to say.
in particular. Everyone, honestly.
Yeah.
I want to work with everyone. There's not one person like, I'm not fucking with these people. I'm not fucking with those people. Like,
Yeah.
that's why there's so many people on this. Like, the music scene around here is kind of cliquey, but
Yeah.
that's just like life in general.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem. But you could even say like our stuff's kind of cliquey. But no, I just want to work with everybody.
Have you heard of XNVIX?
I love those guys.
Do you know if they have someone who makes their beats? Or I don't know how. I want to interview them, but I don't know how they go about their beats.
I would bet that they get it from other people. I don't know if it's one particular person. I actually sent a couple of beats to them because Flat Top Assassin, that's just his IG name.
Yeah.
Like I said, going to these places alone, I met him and he was super nice with me all the time. I actually did a Facebook post because they are just releasing a video now for Burna.
Oh, no way.
So I even did a post like, I used to go to these guys' show and geek out, and in the fucking week I'm gonna be on the same stage as these guys, and life's a fucking trip.
Dude, are you going to Rock for Equality?
You better.
Sure.
Dude,
Let's go.
it's gonna be an
Alright.
event. Let me tell you, dude.
They might even be at capacity. You
Bro.
know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be people outside.
I don't
It's
know.
gonna
Yeah,
be
because
big.
it's at Palace. I don't know how.
It's at both Nice Guys and Palace, so they're gonna be
Oh,
doing
nice.
stage.
my
That's what I'm saying.
gosh.
It's like Warped Tour because
Yeah.
it'll be like stage A
Dude.
and stage B.
Oh,
I'm gonna
man.
be
and
running
hopping
around
back.
everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna try to be there all day. I'm gonna try to catch every act.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be. Dude, I almost don't even want to. Oh my gosh, because I'm gonna vend. I'm gonna be an art vendor, so I'm gonna be stationed somewhere. I might have someone come with me and just watch my booth.
Just
Because
make sure you're in the Palace at the time.
Yeah,
At
because I'm
10:30
gonna
for
need
sure.
to, because I'm gonna see all of those dudes, and then there's bands performing. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
at Nice Guys where they're performing. I'm gonna have to run over there because
It's
I gotta
everything.
see them.
I think Cobras is the headliner, and that's who's like going on right after us. But Angela gave us like a money slot. Like we're 10:30. I think we're like right before the opener.
Yeah, and the people you have on that project have really like strong community around here, so it's
Oh,
gonna be a
absolutely.
really good show.
I'm
dude.
geeked. Like I was telling you, this is all new for me.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be my first album, my first show,
Mhm.
my first time for real DJing. It's a lot of firsts going on.
Yes, dude. And it hypes me up because I know a lot of the dudes around here that are ill, they have different ways they go about getting their beats, whether it's like off the internet or whatever, like however they get their beats. But I always say that this is a place where if you want something done like creatively, there's someone here who's like
Absolutely.
doing it. And that's why that Marlavacci is a producer in Cape Coral that we love because he like the beats he produces are, it makes it all in-house. You know what I mean?
He's probably one of the dopest around. I don't know him personally. I've actually seen him at events. I was like, oh, that's Marlavacci. You should go fucking talk to that guy. He's dope. Ryan Laser's dope. I'm gonna forget all the people. So many people are dope. Like,
yeah.
that dude Cappy won like a fucking
Yes.
Latin Grammy.
Yeah.
What's the place? Facility that they run up there.
Yeah.
Everyone's just dope. I don't even think anyone's trash.
Yeah,
everyone's
exactly, yeah.
fucking good at what
And
they
they're all
do.
like, there's so many good people around here too that like
Absolutely.
are about collaboration, not
Absolutely.
competition.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, have you talked to Eddie Rock at all by chance?
He's liked a couple of my tweets, but we haven't like talked.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, it's so many people. It's a lot.
Mhm.
And I've seen him perform like 2-3 times. He's amazing. And he produces too, right?
I think so.
Hey Eddie, I'm here. Kevin,
Hey everyone,
reach
dude.
out. Everyone.
Yeah, because
honestly.
just thinking like like I said, like this is just one project with a handful of ill dudes,
Yeah.
and there's so many others. So like
That's
the
what I'm saying.
potential for growth.
I
Is
know me
awesome.
and Ronan want to get a project out, maybe just 4 or 5 songs kind of shit. Because it started with like 2, and he was like, oh, what about that? What about that beat? What about that beat? So we got something going on. I want to do something with everybody.
Have you thought about selling beats, or do you sell beats?
There's a website called BeatStars.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually where like Old Town Road came from.
No.
That was from a 19-year-old producer who samples from a 9 Inch Nails song.
No way.
He sampled a 9 Inch Nails song. He put that on BeatStars, and now his life's changed.
Wow.
You can. I won't get into the dirty details. Lil Nas X found that beat, probably bought it for $50, and now the dude's going down in history. So, I don't sell beats on BeatStars personally. I tried, but it's hard to kind of break in. And like I was saying, people say like, "Oh, well, your stuff's so old school. Like you need to make like a Drake type beat." Type beats. They're called type beats.
Yeah.
You need to make type beats, and it's like, I want to make what I like. I don't want
Yeah.
to force it. I don't want to. And I could make those beats given time, but I want to make what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's like art. Like if you know, sometimes with painting, with commissions, sometimes I'm just not really hyped on it because I know like it's gonna sell, or like some things that sell really well. I don't want to just keep painting that stuff just because it's gonna make me money. It's the same with the type beats. Like it might be trendy or like might sell well because people are into that, but like you as an artist, you want to sit down and make beats
Absolutely.
that like get you going. You know
If I'm
what I
not
mean?
feeling it, and
Exactly.
you work on a beat for 2 hours, and you're like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah, there's my check.
I think, yeah, exactly. So, my goal was never to make money, ever.
Mhm.
I hope that shows like in my work, but if money comes, great. But I've never really been about the almighty dollar when it comes to music. I just always wanted to make music.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And you're succeeding, dude. Because
We'll see.
I'm hyped, and I'm sure everyone's gonna love that show, dude. But but other than that, I did mention to you before that we do a ghost story
Yes.
segment where we ask if you have any crazy stories or anything like that. Do
You
you
also
have?
said aliens.
Yes,
Okay.
anything in that realm. Do you have anything you want to share?
I was thinking about it. Nothing too paranormal. I got 2. I was riding in a car with my friend Sean Bishop, who has since passed, R.I.P. Love you, buddy. We were coming back from Gainesville, and I asked him this same question, like, have you ever had anything weird happen to you? He got so fucking weird. He was just like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, what, dude? It's just you and me. Like, what's going on? I don't want to talk about it. So, I mean, I believe in that stuff. Nothing's really happened to me, per se, but to say that stuff's not out there is just ignorant.
Yeah.
But one time, me and my mom were in Iona Road. That's why I'm wearing the shirt. Driving down, and we saw this huge fucking triangle in the sky. And I'm talking, this wasn't no blimp, this wasn't no plane, it was just staying stationary. And then we're like, what is this? What is this? We drove past, and it just stayed there, it sat there. Then a year or 2 later, like I'm looking online or something, and it said floating triangles, sightings, like everywhere. So I was like, I saw that fucking triangle. Me and my mom. You could ask her.
What?
So that's really the only thing. I saw some satellites that I was pretty convinced were UFOs, but upon further review, probably just a satellite. But no, nothing too crazy that I can think of.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Where like I believe in stuff like that, but nothing crazy's ever really happened to me. So I don't like have any, you know, because we've discovered through this that it seems like there's people who it happens to them all the time, like the ghost type stuff, where like they're always like seeing stuff and like stuff happening to them, or it's just never happened to them. and I'm one of those people.
Really,
Never really
like,
happened to
there's
me.
people on like ghost hunters that nothing's fucking
Yeah.
happening.
But then that doesn't make me comfortable to be like, oh, that means none of
Oh
it's real.
hell no!
You know
I
what
wouldn't go in a mirror and say Bloody Mary 5 times. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like I'm not fucking around with that
Just
shit.
in case.
Hell no! Hell no!
Hell yeah, dude. You got anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
No, I mean, is there anything you wanted to add?
We were talking about the album. Album November 8th. It's gonna be on every streaming platform. The show, everybody come out, even if I ain't seen you for 10 years, even if I don't know you. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
dude.
fucking dope.
Mhm.
It's gonna be
that's
so
gonna be
cool.
sick.
And if you typically, if you're a listener, you probably are in the scene in some sense. But if you're listening to this and you haven't been to any shows or anything, like you don't know anyone we've talked about, and you have the day available, this is the day,
one to
because
go
there's
to.
heavy, like people from all genres are gonna be.
And not even
killing
just
it.
our tape, like just the lineup
Mhm.
itself is nuts. I always wanted to play at the Palace, like that was always a goal of mine, playing at the Palace, and like, dude, it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
As the kids say, it's gonna be a movie.
Hell yeah, and that's so the what's the name of the project?
It's called Heights. It's the school that we went to, the elementary school where me and Christian met, and it's just like a double entendre. Like we're gonna go on to all kinds of new heights after this.
And then you told me the line. You told me everyone on the project, but you want to tell the listeners?
I'm gonna try to go in order.
Okay.
Lai Muhammad, Latney, Lutz, Ideal Minded, Ronan Earth Clan, Andre DeSaint, Cool Kid Cannon, and all of them are bar spitters. Like I didn't
Yes.
ask anybody lame to be on this album. Like all these guys are heavy hitters. Big
Yeah.
time.
So if you're a fan of bars,
Big time.
listen to the album and come hear them perform it. You said Andre DeSaint's the only one that can't perform.
He can't make it. Scheduling conflict. I wish he could. No hard feelings. We already talked it out. He's cool
But
with
that's
it.
crazy that all 6 of everyone else is going to be there. That's
Yeah,
going to be a cool show.
It's crazy.
So, Rock for Equality, brought on by Love Your Rebellion. It's going to be nice guys. There's going to be performances. Palace.
And
There's-
Palace. Yeah.
So come to Cape Coral, November 8th. It's going to be freaking awesome. Do you have anything else you want to shout out
No,
in
sick.
general?
Just appreciate you guys
Yeah.
having me, reaching out.
Your
Yeah,
Instagram is
thank you.
239_Rios.
Rios_23.
I always get that.
That's all right.
But yeah, he does cool Instagram videos. So if you're interested in the production side of things and whatever, he has cool videos where he shows kind of his little
And cute pictures of my dog.
and cute pictures of his dog. Heck yeah, yeah. And then you want to tell them how they can find us, Danny?
Yeah, you can find us at City of Palms Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Soon to be Twitter. We gotta get on that fucking
gotta,
Twitter
we're
life,
sleeping.
dude. Yeah, we really do. Yeah, YouTube and yeah, all your podcast streaming services. We got new episodes every Monday, and we got a lot of things planned. I know I feel like we always say that, but
It's coming,
some
dude.
big
It's
things
boiling
coming
point.
soon. Yeah,
Boiling point.
yeah, that's facts. All right, well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.